Guys, hello. How are you doing? It's your boy Viju Vids in the house, and I am joined by Kushal Mehra and Haris Sultan, two very good friends of mine. How are you guys doing?
Very good.
Hello.
I'm very good, guys. Thanks for having this conversation again. My favorite topic.
Yes, we we are so
Fan-
geared up and excited
yes,
about this.
yes. And I'm very happy that we have this split screen thing going on because it intensifies everything and it makes everything so much more dramatic.
Yes.
And so let's provide some context for this conversation. Who would like to actually? You know what? I want to let Kushal provide the context because he, I think, brought this up, or rather, he instigated this whole thing. He's the puppeteer behind all of this.
Yeah.
So, Kushal, would you like to explain the title of this video, which is "Ex-Muslims Do Not Understand Hinduism, or We've Misunderstood Hinduism"? Go ahead.
So here's my take. I now have been observing the ex-Muslim movement. And when I say the ex-Muslim movement, it's beyond you two, because I actually mentally I don't consider you two as ex-Muslims because we've become so close over the years. So it's always about other than you two for me. So I'm just being very categorical when I start this conversation. Whatever is going to be said, it's actually outside both of you guys. So it is what it is. You can call me biased because you guys are like my friends. So I have observed this trend. There is a mindset, and whatever I'm going to say is actually going to be at an intellectual level, at a level of the analysis of the memeplex itself. Religion as a memeplex, as a set of ideas, how they're structured. This is not about whether people are allowed to criticize it or not. I mean, I do it myself. I've always been a supporter of criticism of all ideas, including Hinduism, and no matter what you want to say, you can say anything. But my problem has been, and as I've always observed this trend amongst ex-Muslims in general and Western atheists in the West. It's not like I have, observed atheism in the West now. I mean, I've been in this game myself for 20 years now. I mean, and I'm a reasonably well-read person. I know what I'm talking about. So there is this trend where you have a certain model. I call it the Abrahamic model. How was atheism in the West? See, atheism is what? At its core level, atheism is a negation of a theistic claim, right? Atheism doesn't stand for anything by itself. It is, let's say, atheism is, the color of this table is not black. So it's a negation in pure logical terms. So the negation of Christianity, Islam, and Judaism was very standard in the West. So whenever atheists in the West would come up, they would basically follow the same template. It is a cut, copy, paste, because if you were to be very honest, I mean, I've read the Old Testament, the New Testament, the Quran, a few hadiths, and the Torah, Tanakh, whatever. And you could say, those religions, including Mormons, by the way, they follow a certain mindset. The original seed was planted by Moses, and from there you have Abraham, Moses, and your entire lineage of Abrahamic religions, and the mindset is very similar. But what I notice is that the same mindset, the same cut, copy, paste jargons are used when you discuss Hinduism. Now you could say, oh, so what's the big deal? Well, it may not be a big deal for others, but I believe in intellectual informed discussions. And whenever I see, ridiculous arguments being made online, I call it out.
Okay, so just on that point, could you give us an example of a ridiculous argument made by an ex-Muslim or a Western atheist about Hinduism, please? Just so we have a taste of what you have to deal with.
That's a good question. So I'll give you a very basic difference. So first you have to understand the difference between the two. Hinduism at its core level as a thought system is bottom up. It is individual sects having their individual rules, doing their individual thing, maybe having something in common. In some cases, like let's take, for example, the belief in reincarnation. Now, reincarnation overlaps in at least out of 10 schools, 10 mainstream schools, Astik, Nastik, if you include both. I'm including Sikhism as a Nastik school, and yes, Sikhism is Nastik, which is very confusing for people. But Nastik has nothing to do with a belief in God. It is about accepting Vedas as a supreme authority. Sikhism does not accept Vedas as the supreme authority. It accepts the Guru Granth Sahib as the supreme authority. Okay. So technically, it is Nastik. Now imagine, I am a Gnostic too, right? I call myself Gnostic, Charvak. I don't believe in a supernatural deity, but I'm also Gnostic. Sikhism is also Gnostic.
Okay, so if you could give us an example of something you've heard or read an ex-Muslim or a Western atheist saying something Hinduism, and you're like, this guy doesn't understand Hinduism.
Well, yeah. So I remember a while ago, I don't remember, it was the Atheist Republic that had made a claim about some, no Hindu scripture having something to do with divorces. And I was just shocked at the blatant, basic lack of knowledge that the Atheist Republic had about Hinduism. And I just picked up a primary source and I could have gone further back, but I just picked up the Arthashastra. The Arthashastra, I think, is around, the conservative dating is around 3rd century BC to 4th century BC. People in India, the excitable scholars go take it back to 6th or 7th century BC. And I just showed them verses in the Arthashastra which talk about widow remarriage and divorces. And I was like, why are you making these claims? Don't make claims that you don't know about. See, if you want to say, okay, yeah, they believe in reincarnation, it's bullshit. Okay. They make claims about deities. Okay. But don't make specific claims where you don't know anything. My whole point is, if you don't see, if I don't know something, right, I'm not going to go to a physicist and start talking about quantum mechanics with that person. I might want to listen to that person, what they have to say about quantum mechanics. I'm not saying I'm the expert in Hinduism, but I definitely know a lot more than most of these people do.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, you still haven't given the example.
I just gave you an example about a specific divorce claim.
No. Okay, sorry. Okay, I must have. Yeah, that's fine. I was actually talking about. I thought we were going to speak about Sarah Hayden's context.
Yeah, so I was going to say. Yeah, so I mean,
I can take out her tweet.
Yeah. Please.
So this whole thing was sorry, Harry. Yeah, you go for it. This whole thing started off. I think Sarah Hayden made a tweet, and something happened. Twitter verse whatever it is, and this whole thing.
So can I read Sarah Heather's tweet?
Sure.
Okay, so she said Hinduism is mild-mannered and inclusive, but let me call you a lying fake ex-Muslim jihadi for saying Hinduism is nonsense. Now, this is so intellectually weak. This entire argument is intellectually weak. So if your entire understanding of Hinduism is based on the behavior of Twitter trolls, then let me flip it around for Sarah Heather and say, most Muslims are very nice, decent, non-violent people. Is Islam a religion of peace according to her?
That's not what she meant. She was actually quoting someone who says Hinduism mild-mannered and inclusive, but in the same context, he's actually saying that someone else is going to kill it.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It does matter because
the man does not say anybody is going to kill her. I have the screenshots of the man she shared. He's not saying. He's not saying I'm going to kill you. He's saying that Islam is a fanatical religion.
Yes, exactly. So the argument that she's giving, okay, on one hand, you tell us, first of all, the biggest argument that we get from everyone, and I get a lot from my Indian followers as well. Obviously, there are a lot of rational Indians as well, and then there are a lot of Hindutva brigade in that as well. The first argument that we get, Harris, why do you criticize Hindus? I actually can show you one screenshot. I just got a message while we just started the stream. Why do you criticize Hinduism? Hindus don't ask for killing of atheists. Okay, so does that make me become a Hindu? Let's have a look at it intellectually. I can say that that makes me fear radical Hinduism less than it makes me fear Islam. So you could build an argument on that okay, Hinduism has some better points in its doctrinal structure than Islam has. But then the argument also saying that there are a lot of Islamic scholars as well who say no, atheists should not be killed. So we understand the complexity in different positions people adopt. So when Sarah Hayden is also talking about Hinduism, she's not obviously covering everyone and everyone's interpretation of Hinduism. When we specifically talk about Hinduism, we specifically talk about those fanatical aspects of that. Now, even though the term I use, fanatical aspects of that, people would be like, whoa, what are you talking about? Fanatical doesn't necessarily mean blowing yourself up and killing people, even though that does happen in isolated cases. What we do talk about is that, okay, when you try to tell us that cow urine has medicinal qualities and it cures cancer, that's the Hinduism we're criticizing. So you could say, well, that's not real Hinduism. I'm sorry. Then that's your job to actually convince these people and maybe attack their ideas. And it's your job to convince them, hey, that's not Hinduism. That's just a certain thought of a certain individual who wrote a certain book on Hinduism. Same problem happens with Islam as well. When we have these modern secularist Muslims like Imran Khan or all these other modern Muslims who say, well, Islam is not about that. Islam is all about peace. And Islam doesn't say that you should kill a blasphemer or an atheist. Well, we say, well, it's your job to convince your 1.4 billion people that that is not the real Islam. When we look at Islam, what do we use? What term should we use then? Some Hinduism or some schools of Hinduism, then there would be another problem as well. And you know this argument better than everyone, that we can't add a disclaimer about underneath everything, hashtag not all Muslims, not all Hindus.
Actually, that's a very weak argument, and I'll tell you why it's a very weak argument. Because that's exactly what Sarah Heather did not do. What she was very clear. She was relying, because it's not just one tweet. I mean, you can just go on looking at all her replies. I mean, I don't know why I was doing that. I guess I was very villa that day. I was just looking at her replies. See, this is the problem. You can't look at Twitter trolls and superimpose that. I don't do that when I have a discussion on Islam, Christianity, Hinduism. My problem was not whether she was doing it with Hinduism or not. My issue is this weak way of looking at any set of ideas. Whether it's Islam, I would have a problem. I mean, Vidu knows that for sure, that I have had problems with ex-Muslims criticizing Islam in the similar manner too. My problem is this line of argument itself. Now, Vidu will back me up. He knows I've said it many times to him, that I find this whole ex-Muslim criticism of Islam also very unscholarly. It's an unscholarly way of dealing with things. Yeah, I get it. See, I grant this argument that, even Hitchens made this account that if you can believe in a set of ideas without really understanding them, you can criticize a set of ideas without really understanding them. But then say that you really don't understand them. What happens is you pretend to be an expert. Oh, it's
she
all
doesn't.
Nonsense.
But she
they
did.
do. Because they do it in front.
Let's just specifically do a case study on Sarah Heather. Now let's go back to the tweet again. She said, Hinduism mild-mannered and exclusive, but let me call you a fake ex-Muslim jihadi. That is also another thing. Someone in this live stream, someone said, oh, Harris Sultan calls himself an ex-Muslim and atheist, yet he's a diehard fan of Imran Khan. What kind of a straw manning is this? I mean, I can't admire Imran Khan's honesty, financial integrity, his real will to make Pakistan a better country just because he's a Muslim. Now, these are classical non sequiturs. They just don't flow into other things.
Exactly.
Sarah Heather specifically.
So she used the strawman too, right? She used the strawman too.
No.
So why is that strawman bad and her strawman good?
No, it's not. She's actually highlighting a bigger point that, okay, I am a mild-mannered and inclusive Hindu, but I will call you a fake ex-Muslim jihadi for saying Hinduism is nonsense. Basically, that's where the dispute started, right? Because she criticized Hinduism. I don't know which part exactly. Now, again, that is a point that she's trying to point out. Now, the Muslims do that all the time, and these are common things that we find amongst all theists, and they say that. But anyway, Vidu wants to say something.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? Before I even share the tweet, let me get rid of this. Yeah, stop screen. Yeah. I actually have seen this a lot. Where, for example, sorry, I'm just trying to fix the screen. Yeah, where where I think it was me, Haris, and Sham. We were talking about Pakistan, India, whatever it was. A discussion we had it, like I think last year or early this year. I can't remember. It was after the Pulwama thing, whatever. Anyway, so Haris gives his position on Pakistan, and I see a lot of comments like this. Haris says he's an ex-Muslim, but the real Muslim in him came out when he was talking about Pakistan, because he's not. And by the way, just to disclaim, I'm not having a Pakistan-India discussion on this right now, but I'm giving an example that they recognize his atheism when it comes to criticizing blasphemy and all the rest of it. But if he says something positive about Pakistan or doesn't bash Pakistan according to their
narrative,
then the real Muslim in him comes out. And this is something which I have seen, and people have said this to me as well. Maybe not as much because I don't talk about Pakistan, India, and Hinduism that much. I'm not really interested in the politics that much, but I have seen this sometimes. So I don't know if it's a specific thing with Pakistan, India, because I don't know if a different kind of atheist would say that about Haris, or I don't know. So I have seen some of this sometimes as well. I don't know who wants to respond. Or before you respond, do we actually want to go to the tweets and just have a quick look at them? And the viewers.
Also on that extension of that, not only they say, well, he's a fake ex-Muslim, he's a jihadi, there's a hidden Muslim inside him or whatever, whenever I don't support their narrative, but also all of that actually, anyway, it doesn't matter. I think I forgot the point, but go on.
Okay, let's quickly look at the tweets.
It's 3 a.m. here in Australia, and my
I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Horace.
Very embarrassing.
No, it's okay. Don't worry. The embarrassment has just started. Do you want to, it's only downhill from here, son. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, so Hinduism is a mild-mannered and inclusive, but let me call you a lying fake ex-Muslim jihadi for saying Hinduism is nonsense. And if we go further, yes, looks like you left a fanatical religion, but simply repurposed the fanaticism to preach hatred of religion. Religious people, especially those from mild-mannered, inclusive religions like Hinduism, are still the kafirs against whom you feel compelled to do jihad. This is something which I am confused about. How is Sarah Hayder doing jihad?
Can I give you the context to that?
Yeah, go for it.
So ex-Muslims of North America basically tweeted, I think PSA, Hinduism is also nonsense, right?
Okay.
That's what they tweeted.
Yeah.
And it all starts from there. They start getting comments where Hindus use the classical strawman. Some Hindus online use the strawman on them. But what is the response to that? Look, you guys are still not getting it. Hinduism is a set of ideas. Hindus are people.
Some bad ideas too.
Yes. Did I say good or bad?
No. I'm pointing it out. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to be as thorough as we can in least amount of words.
Okay. Well, the Hinduism is a set of bad, good, mediocre, semi-bad, semi-god, left, right, up, down ideas, whatever. So we can go into the details. It doesn't matter. Hinduism is a set of ideas. Hindus are people. Just like that, Islam is a set of ideas. Muslims are people. If you are willing to do the distinguishing and the separation when it comes to Islam and Muslims, do that with Hindus and Hinduism also.
Was the original okay? That's fine. So was the original comment Hinduism is nonsense?
Yeah, that's what they said, and I have no problem with. Yeah, so they said that. So everybody said. So there were some people online who used a third-class argument to tell them that, oh, you guys are just Hindu haters. Bad argument. But the reply to that argument was, no, we don't hate Hindus. We just don't like Hinduism. But what was done there? In the tweet of Sarah Heather, it was not that. It was, oh, Hinduism is nice and plural, but look at these violent people. What? Why do you have to bring Hinduism in this argument? My whole point was it's a weak argument.
No, but we use the same argument against Islam as well, because there are so many peaceful Muslims.
It's still weak. It doesn't make it strong.
No, it's not, because the motivation to be violent or aggressive comes from their love for the tribe that they feel associated with Hinduism. That's where the motivation comes from. That's why we have to mention Islam or Hinduism.
Come on, man. Even atheists troll me online because I say I don't belong to the tribe of atheism anymore.
Yeah, that's fine. So people do that. I'm going to
quote those people and start whining and crying. Oh, atheists are supposed to be so rational and thinking.
No. In the context you can, just like you used it now. In the context you can, when people become tribal because of their emotional attachment to a certain tribe, whether that's atheism or Hinduism or Islam, you can bring it up just like you just did. You brought it up. And it's fine.
What I tried to make my point was, if I use that argument for all atheists or atheism, it's a bad argument.
No one is saying all atheists, or no one is saying all Hindus either. She's not saying all Hindus. We're specifically targeting those people who use this argument,
You're still not getting it. You're mixing Hindus, random people behaving badly online, with Hinduism, set of ideas. All I'm trying to say is, learn to distinguish. When you distinguish the both, you give better critiques of Hinduism.
Okay, sorry.
No one is mixing it up. No one is mixing it up. I can bet my life on it. No, she didn't, because I can bet my life on it that Sarah obviously was talking about those people who were attacking her because of their emotional connection to Hinduism.
Okay. So. Let's just take one step back. Would you accept, Kushal, that you are someone who you are an atheist, although you may not use the term the way other
I don't
people.
call myself an atheist. I actually reject the term atheist for myself.
Okay, so you say you don't believe in God.
Yeah, I'm a Nirishwarvadi Nastik. Now, I don't care what
Okay,
atheists want to call
don't go
themselves.
there. We don't go there.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure where there is, but anyway, see, even
Yeah,
that
exactly.
point in itself. I mean, for me, it's like it's just a simple definition. If you don't believe in God or have no reason to believe in God,
Actually, that's not the definition of atheism. And that's
what's
my problem.
atheist?
Not theism. That's all.
Yeah, but
That's all atheism means. Not theism.
If theism means believing in God, atheism it means not believing in one.
No.
So
Atheism
what
is
is
not believing in what they claim. But again, atheism is a negation. Negation does not have a positive claim by itself. I'm being very technical here. A negation by itself does not. Atheism, I mean, even Dawkins, if you remember the Dawkins scale, right? From 1 to 7.
Yeah.
There's a hard atheist, weak atheist, mild atheist. Even Dawkins realized, and Dawkins himself never placed himself on number 7. He said, I'm 6.7 or 6.8.
Yeah.
Why did he do that? Because he knew it's an irrational argument to say there is no God.
No, now you're strawmanning it because he
I'm
said
not strawmanning it. I've read the God Delusion myself.
I know. I've read it 3 times actually.
That's okay.
He wins. He wins, bro. He wins. He wins.
Yeah, man.
He's
He
read it
wins.
3 times.
He wins.
With the Dawkins scale, what he's saying that obviously I agree with pretty much most of it what you said, but it's not, but you saying that it's an irrational argument. It's not an irrational argument. He's looking at it probabilistically, and he's saying, well, there's a high probability that there's no one being or multiple beings who created the universe. That's why he says I would never be. I can never say it objectively 100% that there is no God, but probabilistically speaking, that's him equivalent of 99.999% sure that there's no God, and that's why a lot of atheists usually say
Christian God or the Abrahamic God.
or any conscious deity who created the universe. That is the position. This is why I put myself on the scale 6 as well, because what would I do? I don't want to look like an idiot when a God does turn up and says, aha, you idiot, you put yourself on number 7. Here I am. What are you going to do? So that's the only fear. And as you can understand how unrealistic that is, or how unprobabilistic that is, that there would be a God. So that's why he put himself on scale 6, not on scale 7. But that doesn't make it irrational. That actually makes it more rational.
I never said that what he's saying is irrational. So, what I was saying is that atheism is not there is no God. Atheism is just a negation. I think you're confusing me.
Sorry. I thought you said that he put himself on number 6 because he knows that his argument is irrational. That's what you actually said.
No, I said no. I literally said atheism does not mean there is no God. Atheism is just by itself a negation.
I agree.
That's all I'm saying. And I just use the analogy of Dawkins. There are 2 separate things.
Okay, guys, sorry. That wasn't the original point I was trying to make. But the point what I was trying to say is, how does an atheist or a whatever you want to call it, non-theist, whatever word you want to use, there are common themes within all religions, like a divine creator outside the universe, someone who created it. They can differ on the creation, they can differ on their own values, but there are certain constant things across all religions, whether it's Eastern or Western or Abrahamic, whatever it is. Why can't a ex-Muslim or ex-Christian or an ex-Jew criticize those common things that is across all religions, or do they also have to know the particulars of Hinduism as well? This is what because I'm playing devil's advocate here.
No, I'm playing devil's advocate. My point. I want them to do that.
Yeah, but the second point is that because, like you said, Hinduism is so diverse, so there's like thousands of different types of local rituals or local beliefs.
Just read.
Sorry? Just
read them.
Sorry?
I'm saying that's okay.
No, I'm saying that, but there are so many that even if a few percent, like I could, like I'm just giving an example of this whole marriage thing. I don't know what the particulars of that thing was, but maybe mainstream Hinduism doesn't have that practice, but some sects of Hinduism do. Like there's some sects of Islam that do things that other mainstream sects of Islam would not do, but that doesn't make that the argument invalid per se.
But I never said the argument is invalid. My whole point was that Sarah Heather's critique or anybody's critique of any faith system has to be based on some premises. Now, if somebody says reincarnation is a bunch of rubbish, when did I say I have a problem with that? I never said that. My whole point is that when you criticize any faith system or any set of ideas, you have to be specific in what you're criticizing. If you're saying all of XYZ is nonsense, it's a bad argument. It's just a weak, bad, pathetic argument. And if you don't like to hear being criticized, then I can't do anything. But if you say all of Hinduism is bad, well, there are many claims in Hinduism that are perfectly compatible. There are many claims in Islam that might be perfectly compatible with our current understanding of reality. So all Islam is not bad, all Hinduism is not. I'm just saying, why can't people be more specific in their criticism? I don't know why it's such an issue. That's what my point is.
I think you're nitpicking here, and you're.
But that's my nature.
You're splitting. I think you're splitting hairs here because, like as I said at the start of the stream, that when we criticize Hinduism, or when we occasionally, we don't even do it enough. I mean, we get criticized all the time. That why don't we talk about other religions? Why we always focus on Islam? Because yes, we know more about Islam.
I actually do get criticized. Why don't you do Hinduism more? I'm like, I don't know anything about it.
And that's my argument. And sometimes they don't buy it. Well, you are an atheist, so you should study all religions. I'm like, fuck off! I don't have time or resources or even interest to do that. When we do point out certain bits, I agree with you that. But again, in that case, we would never be able to say Christianity or Hinduism or Islam on the whole is nonsensical. Yes, I mean, there's some good bits that come out of Islam as well. Look after the orphans, the run all out argument. But that doesn't mean that we can't say Islam, hashtag, capital I, Islam is nonsense. Because someone would say, well, that part is true about Islam, then what are you going to do then? So we're obviously speaking on the whole, on a general scale, but when we do nitpick and point out something, I'm sure Sarah Hayder would never have, I don't know whoever that person is who talked about marriage. I would have never spoken about the marriage because I actually don't know, other than the fact that you have to do 7 circles around a fire. Agni ko sakshi mangte hue.
Only in Bollywood movies, 7 circles. It's actually not 7 circles.
Or 6 or whatever that is. I don't know. But सात फेरे लिए मैंने अग्नि को साक्षी मानते हुए 7 फेरे लिए और मंगलसूत्र पहना. Those kind of things. So that's fine, and we can make fun of that. But I wouldn't know anything more than that, more about it. So I'm not going to speak too much about it. But when someone says, "Oh, my Hinduism," and again, that's your problem. It's not our problem. To convince those Hindus who say, well, there must have been some divine knowledge who told us, cow is a god and his urine has medicinal qualities. And when we make fun of it, when we attack it, then it's okay. And we're not going to get stopped if someone just comes out with an argument, well, you don't know entirely about Hinduism, so don't talk about it. We're not going to buy it.
Nobody expects that from you. People expect you to be criticizing specific claims. That's what the expectation is.
And that's a specific claim. And I think what Sarah
did. What's the problem with that? When you criticize a specific claim, like, okay, let's do this then. Next time you say Hinduism believes in the concept of karma and reincarnation, that's where bullshit. You accumulate, and you
let me tweet it right now. Let me tweet that right now and see what happens.
People will be like, I disagree with you.
No, that's not how this is.
I don't believe in a specific claim. Yeah, they'll criticize you. They'll try to say, oh, no, we believe in this. This is the evidence. They'll show that who is that stupid guy, Ian Stevenson.
You are a jihadi. They're going to say you're a jihadi. Hinduism believes in...
Okay, well, we can... Okay. So this is a very ringing endorsement of our talk so far by 123 VAR. Worst talk ever.
You know what's happening is, I'll be very clear. I expect certain standards in a discussion. What I have come to realize is most of the discussion online, whether it's done by atheists, whether you like it or not, this is how it happens. Whether it's done by theistic folks, Hindu, Muslim, Christian, they use the lowest common denominator language, and that lowest common denominator straw man is used to dismiss every side. That's how it is done. All I try to make a point is, let us make the discussion more intelligible and intellectual. What's the big deal? And I have always maintained that when I tried to study the Quran, I read at least 4 translations of it. I spent time studying it. And then I had some basic understanding.
Why can't we? Can I just jump in?
It's actually easy. I mean, I don't know if you remember. I asked you, hey, send me some of the Vedas, like, and then you said, each Veda is like 1,000 pages and deeply intellectual. And I was like, fuck that shit. I really don't have time, or intellect. I could be becoming lazy, but I can assure you, even if I did read for like all the Vedas, or even a couple of them, or 3 of them, or as many as I could, I would still, every time when I would point out a certain quote, I would still be told, oh, you're misquoting it, you didn't understand the context, and the same arguments. So it's a lot easier to actually read the concept of Islam or Christianity, because the Christianity can be actually even more messy, but Quran is simple because it's just one thick book, and you can read it, you can take out a verse, and you can rip it apart. But when we do the same thing with Hinduism, people get offended, and I think we have kind of agreed that we should be, when we're talking about a certain aspect, we are being specific about it, but also based on those some certain aspects, we can, on the whole, we can say, well, and this is why we don't believe in Hinduism. We don't call ourselves Hindus. You want to call me a Hindu because of my geographical location? Fine, I've got no problem with that.
Okay, so can I just jump in?
Yeah, follow.
Okay. There was something which you found interesting in our latest podcast, which you can check out on my channel with Haris, which was very interesting. And we just briefly mentioned it about the, I think it was Armin. He said that he was getting a lot of death threats, or a lot of hate, whatever you want to call it, from Hindus, because he said, I thought Muslims were sensitive, and then I started talking about Hinduism, and then lo and behold, I got a lot of an avalanche of Hindu hate or death threats or whatever it is. And I mean, what do you make of that statement? Or I mean, were you surprised, or are you not surprised? Or I mean, just what are your thoughts on that?
Okay, you know what the most surprising thing about that is, at least in comparison to all of you, I criticize Hinduism on my YouTube channel at least 10 times more than you guys do.
Of course, because yes, and because you are passionate about those issues, just like we are more passionate about Islam, and so
I don't get any death threats. And by the way, I don't get death threats from Muslims either. I don't get death threats.
I don't get death threats.
Nobody wants to kill me. I don't know what's with you people and everybody wanting to kill you guys on.
Not me. I spoke with Vidu as well. Like, I mean, we don't get many death threats for some weird reason. Like, we get some.
Buy this whole death threat business. To be very honest, and let me tell you one thing: Indians hump a lot. There are a lot of Indians. So the probabilities of you being trolled by Hindus in a certain ratio online is always going to be there. So I'm just sorry. There are just too many Hindus humping in this world and reproducing like rabbits. So when you're going to get a fair share of trolls.
So going back to Sarah Haider, like I think I really want to nip it in the bud. So when she's actually talking about Hinduism, she's talking about those aspects. And as I said earlier, she's in that tweet, she's actually making the point that why people come out with these outrageous things is because of their emotional affiliation with the tribe of Hinduism. Same thing we see in as you said, there's some atheists who behave like that. There's some actually a lot of Muslims who behave like that. We understand that. So, but that's the point of her tweet that I saw, and I've already got some comments now. I disagree with you. Okay, that's nice, Johan. Thank you very much. Feel free to disagree, but don't call it bullshit. Okay. Yes, but 72 who's and eternal heaven are awesome ideas. Like, where did I say that? So all of a sudden now I'm being a Muslim because I criticize Hinduism.
See, now that's exactly. Yeah. Okay.
But
okay. This is what I was saying to you before.
The first
reply it's not a death threat, of course not. But this is.
But I'm gonna get absolutely smashed by a lot of Hindus on my Facebook and on my Twitter because I just said it. So yeah. I reserve the right. The right to fire back.
And I reserve the right to call out people when they do.
Sorry, guys.
Mediocre things.
I've got no problem. Fine.
Okay,
yeah, that's what I was saying.
Okay, fair enough. I think. Can I say this? And I think this is something which happens quite a bit, and you can disagree with me or whatever. When ex-Muslims, and I experienced this when we were both, me, Haris, Armin experienced this, and my wife Marwa. When we criticize Islam, it's yay. But if we were to turn our attention towards Christianity, I mean, not even Hinduism, but Christianity, a religion that we are far more familiar with than Hinduism, because obviously, it has shared heritage. it's like, whoa, what are you doing? You know, it was all well and good when you're criticizing Islam, but the moment you turn your face towards Christianity, it becomes a problem. And the same is, you can say wrongly or rightly, whatever. Same as with Hinduism as well. So I think ex-Muslims are being, on some level, cheered. Like, we have a lot of cheerleaders when it comes to Islam sucks. But when the same gun is turned towards Christianity or Hinduism, then all of a sudden it's like, okay, I liked you up until then, but you should remain in your lane. And this is something which I find really annoying. If you're an
Very good
ex-Muslim
point.
atheist, a
Very
real
good.
ex-Muslim atheist,
It's a very good
when you
point.
want
And
ex-Muslim,
I support you guys.
I am not going to give.
I support
Yeah,
you guys.
I know you do. I know you do. But I 100% believe you do. That's why, you know, we're having this conversation.
No, see,
But
I'll tell you what
when
the
we
problem
criticize
is.
Islam,
Within the
it's all well
Christians
and good.
and the Hindus,
But
I'll give you.
I just want to finish that point.
Yeah.
I just want to finish that point. I just want to finish the point very quick, and then I'll let you guys talk. Is that if you are going to cheer an ex-Muslim atheist, which the majority of ex-Muslims are atheists, if you're going to cheer us on, then do not expect favors from us when it comes to your religion. Like, your religion isn't safe either. Whatever religion you belong to, it isn't safe, even if it is quote unquote mild mannered. Like, you can be a Mormon, right? Or you can be like a I don't know, some Jain or whatever it is. Like, you don't even hurt animals. That doesn't mean you're necessarily your religious beliefs are going to be rational or logical, or your God or non-God is going to be found like based upon any evidence. So we're going to come after you as well. But this is what I find annoying. You cheer us on when it suits you, but when we go against what you believe, then all of a sudden we're anti-Semitic, anti-Hindu, anti-Christian, anti-whatever. So yeah.
So
You can speak now. Sorry, I didn't mean to go on that rant.
Thank you. So now I'm going to explain this. I'm with you guys on this one because I've faced this too. If I mean, once or twice when I've commented on Islam, there will be some Muslim who will be like, oh, look at you, Hindutva, this, that. It is a standard bullshit argument everybody faces. So that's tribalism. In fact, one of the best ways to detect an anti-Muslim bigot, and I'm being categorical here, this is one of the best ways to detect anti-Muslim bigotry is when you criticize Hinduism being a non-Hindu, and then they'll start calling you a jihadi. I'm sorry, that is borderline anti-Muslim bigotry in my view. This is my opinion. Now Hindus can disagree with me and call me whatever they want to call me. They can call me dhimmi, etc. Whatever.
Jihadi.
Mani jihadi.
Dhimmi is a better one.
So in this I'm with you guys. See, my point has always been, you guys know me very well now. I'm always going to stand up for free speech. I'm always going to stand up for criticism of Hinduism. My biggest problem is, what the hell is the problem? Why can't we distinguish ideas and individuals? I would love for, okay, we've had offline discussions where I've told you guys, let us create podcasts where I am more than happy to criticize specific claims of Hinduism on your shows. I mean, Haris remembers it. When he had called me and discussed kaise karna hai, and I told him, yeah, Haris, let's do it. I don't care. I will go through. But what I said was, even when I've had this conversation with Armin, I told him, look, it's a very simple cognitive change you have to do when you criticize Hinduism. When you criticize Hinduism, you don't use the word Hinduism. You say, who are you? Acha, you are Advaitin, right? Okay. Okay, what is your claim? Bullshit. Your claim does not stand scrutiny. That's how you do it. I actually faced this problem when I used to criticize Islam, and they would be like, oh, I'm a Quranist. Oh, I don't believe in these hadiths because those hadiths are considered invalid. What I believe is, I use the Nicholas Nassim Taleb logic of people with soul in the game or skin in the game. I believe when I'm criticizing religion, I want to do it with people, and I want to debate people who have skin in the game and soul in the game, so that they know and they breathe and live it.
What do you mean skin in the game?
Skin in the game means people who are invested in it personally. People who understand it and invested in it personally. And soul in the game means someone who really understands it. Someone who's got in-depth knowledge of the subject. Now, I would love to do that. Look, I do not expect, at least you guys, the faces of the ex-Muslim movement now, to use the Tucha troll argument of the internet. I expect you guys to give better arguments. If I am pushing someone, it is not, you guys are my allies. I consider all of you my allies. I may not call myself an atheist, but who cares? But I can call myself the cult of the spaghetti monster. Who cares? It's just a bloody noise that comes out of someone's mouth. It doesn't matter. You should judge me by my set of ideas. I judge you guys by your set of ideas, not by what you guys call yourself. My whole point is, why can't we elevate the discussion? My problem is the discussion keeps getting mediocre day by day. And even the best of us, I mean, do you think I have a problem with Sarah either? I support her. I would even pay money to ex-Muslims of North America just to help ex-Muslims. Haris knows I've done it too.
Yeah, you have. But I don't understand the problem you have with Sarah on this, because as I told you, that whenever we say Muslims or Hindus or Hinduism or Islam, we obviously are not covering in one tweet. You can't cover every little topic, but you can use the word Hinduism in a general sense. And that's exactly what she, in that tweet that you pointed out, that's exactly what she said, that she's pointing out the hypocrisy of that individual, that Hinduism is mild-mannered and polite, but I'm going to call you jihad. I'm going to call an ex-Muslim a fake ex-Muslim and a jihadi. She's obviously just talking about that person, and you would acknowledge there would be millions of Hindus like that. So I just don't understand the grievance there.
My grievance is that if I would have made that tweet, I would have I don't know. I just think differently. I like to have perfectly logically framed arguments, because before tweeting, I think 100 times.
I do too, but that's perfectly fine. But I don't see any problem in that. It's perfectly fine.
I don't think so. I don't think so. It's perfectly fine. By the way, I'm just looking at the replies. Very interesting. So somebody said he disagrees with you. Somebody said the ideas aren't necessarily bullshit, but it is bullshit to suggest the ideas can actually exist in the physical world. So yes, bullshit. Somebody said karma catches up sooner or later. We'll take care of ours. You take care of yours. That's like a Madinan, your religion to you, my religion to me.
Yes.
So look, I'm telling you, if you guys want to have intelligent conversations about any religion, my recommendation to each and every atheist is, if you really want to change hearts and minds, you want to convert people into your set of ideas, why don't you attack specific claims? You guys do it so beautifully when it comes to the Quran. Your videos with Abdullah Gondal or Abdullah Samir or Haris has done it personally, where he has had detailed discussions with that. I don't know, remember who that guy was, some actor of Pakistan. Those were such good videos.
Yeah.
So those are such quality videos.
Kushal, Okay, sorry, Kushal, this is an interesting question here by B.J. Price saying, have Kushal restate the tweet the way he would say it. How would you have wanted Sarah Haider to say what she said?
Look at these Hindus. They can't take criticism of their set of ideas. That's all. She did not
that's
have
even more general.
Look at these specific Hindus who can't really take the criticism of the set of ideas.
Are you sure people would not have said not all Hindus? Are you sure people would have said
that's even more general? I mean,
I
thought you wanted to be more specific.
Hindus, it's very specific. Look at this specific set of Hindu. Or these Hindus, she shared 3-4 screenshots, right? So I don't know if it's of one person or multiple handles. If it's one person, then she could have just said, look at this Hindu. What is he doing? He can't take criticism of his ideas. That's what I do. I talk about the person who's attacking me. I don't talk about all Muslims. Heck, I have.
No. See, this is where you're misunderstanding. So we see maybe this is the way we look at things differently. We see, okay, and this is why we are atheists and we have absolutely no respect for any religion or any, it's just the world would be better off without all religion. So this is why we actually do relate that with a religion, so people can understand that this is what tribalism do to you. So she's actually highlighting the important part, not just saying these Hindus. So where these Hindus are coming from, why are they saying that? They're saying that because of their affiliation with this religion. And that's why we have to use the word Hinduism as well. And that's why we use the word Islam as well. I mean, so many Muslims say that too, that, hey, I'm not jihadi. I don't think that atheists should be killed. I don't think that blasphemers should be killed. That's my Islam. But we have to mention the word Islam, because those who do want to do that, they're getting their inspiration and motivation from their love and emotional connection to their religion.
And
that's why we're going to say it. That's why we're going to use the word Hinduism. Yeah, why can't we use it?
Who said you cannot use it? Am I sensitive?
No. But
Okay.
okay, you're not taking it as insensitively, but you are also not happy about it because you're saying that you would have said it differently, which is fine.
Okay.
Yes.
But so many other people are getting triggered for it.
Well, people are triggered even when I say Sachin is better than Kohli, and all the bloody Kohli cards come and start trolling me.
Yes,
what are you going to do to that?
I will troll you too. Can you highlight some of the comments from this chick Shami? Can you just come up with these? These are just. I mean, she's been trying to troll me for a while. No. The one before that. The one before that. She made one more comment before that. I mean,
Okay.
4 comments up. Atheists don't attack other religions.
Atheists don't attack other religions. They live their.
Okay, I don't know.
They live their own lives.
I don't know. Which atheist is she talking about? Is she talking about Sam Harris or Richard Dawkins or Hitchens?
Let me break it down to you, Sharmi. There are 2 kinds of atheists. There are anti-theistic atheists, and there are atheists who just want to be left alone. Maybe I think even Vidhu belongs to that category where he's the kind of atheist. No, I don't. Armin Nawabi is the anti-theistic atheist.
No, so there are various degrees of that.
So I am definitely one. I'm not anti-theistic, but I'm definitely far more harsher on religion than Vidhu is. I would definitely say that.
Yeah, but then you are anti-theist as well. Yeah. I mean, you are shitting on religion, right? I mean, by her myopic view, you should just live your life and never talk about religion or shit on religion. To that, I can only tell Sharmi that I mean, if religious people would have just been giving Gnostics or atheists or Nirishwarvadis, their basic dignity. Yeah.
We would not have to do that, but you did not give us that. Although I would be very fair in this case that my experience as a Hindu has been very, very docile. I mean, I have not faced any hostility. I question every single claim. I openly say, and I'm going to say it again, I don't believe Vedas are the supreme authority. Now check the live chat. There are many Hindus here.
Harris is shitting constantly on religion, and that's fine. What's wrong with that? Why can't I shit on religion?
Why can't you shit on religion, Sharmi?
Okay, guys, sorry. I
reckon let's focus on her because she's giving us some really intellectually wise, mind-breaking, mind-exploding.
Harris has taken over.
Highlight the ha as well.
I'm going to put Sharmi to a side for 1 second. Okay. Kushal, I hope you don't mind. You said something very interesting in a private chat, and because I was trying to understand the difference between the Abrahamic template and the Hindu template, and you were saying that I can't remember the exact words now. Something along the line that the real Hindu.
Yeah, the Abrahamic template is
and the
Hindu template is leave me the hell alone.
Go on.
So that's what Hinduism is all about.
Is this true, Horace? Is this true, Horace? Is the Hindu template leave me the hell alone?
I think no. I don't know. This is why I don't talk a lot about Hinduism because I know it's so complex and it's so difficult. And again, I want to spend my time criticizing Islam, which I focus more on and I'm more passionately involved in. But I do agree with the overall sentiment of Kushal that there has to be a different template for criticizing or attacking Hinduism. We also look for, and as I said, out of 100 tweets, 2 might be about Hinduism, and I might pick on some really vivid bullshit idea like incarnation or reincarnation and karma, or cow urine has medicinal qualities and there are 50 patents registered in America, not to mention all by Indians. So those kind of things that we actually sometimes pull it out and we throw it. Now, also the Hindus who worship idols and they pray to idols. Now you can say that, okay, that's not what's in Vedas or whatever. You can say that, but when we're talking about that, we're talking about those Hindus and that Hinduism we're talking about. I mean, I can give you constantly. I give these examples. Like, I mean, Muslims say, well, we don't believe that atheists should be killed. So I'm saying, well, okay, I'm not. I have said it so many times to Mufti Abu Layth as well. I said it to Hamza Abbasi that I have no problem with your Islam. But the problems, you have the problem to convince the rest of your audience, rest of the Muslim population, that your Islam is the real Islam. Until you do that, I'm not gonna hashtag not the whole Islam. I'm not gonna hashtag not all Muslims. I'm not gonna do it. It's just impractical, and it just weakens my own argument.
Well, or you can just say that I don't believe with the set of ideas that claim that people should be killed for disbelief. I don't believe with the set of ideas that claim there are deities in the sky or wherever. I don't believe in the set of ideas that claim that people, there is some soul or Atman and you are reincarnated. Why can't you just simply say that?
No,
it's a smaller tweet.
No, but it loses a sting. It loses a sting out of that because there's so many people who, and we have enormous success rate. I mean, there's so many people who are leaving Islam. I get private messages by people that they've left Islam. So I must be doing something right. I'm not going to say, okay, that idea is bad. I'm going to use the word Islam in that. And I'm sorry, I can't make an exception for other religions either. Oh, yeah. I want to comment. I want to comment on that.
I'm sorry, guys.
Okay.
Oh, super chat.
You highlighted that point. Someone's comment. Harris
sorry. Your audio is cutting out. Sorry, I don't know if it's me or you can hear it.
You have a super chat. Oi.
£50. Why don't I get these? Why don't I get these? Why don't I get these super chats?
You suck.
I can't see any super chat.
Oh, yaar.
I can't see the super chat.
RS Sid.
Special mention to
I can't see the super chat, bro. Oh, there it is. RS Sid. He says, okay, let me.
He didn't say
anything. I found it. Let me show the comment. RS Sid says, bless. He said, bless.
So
Thank you for your blessings. I appreciate that.
Blessed by who?
I'm an atheist, but if you give me money, I'll take all the blessings in the world. I make no distinction.
You're a hypocrite. See,
sorry.
I was just gonna say that like if by bless you mean
when it comes to money, we all are. Son.
You should refund it.
Religion is money. That's the biggest religion there is. No, I'm taking it all right to the bank. But on a serious note, thank you very much, RS. But okay, so I'm gonna play that devil's advocate, Kushal.
Devil to
you
whom?
said Hinduism
Haris
is not
me?
Expansionist. Hindus say they. This is to you now.
Okay.
I'll play devil to Haris as well. I'll accuse him of Taliban, all that kind of stuff in a second. You said Hinduism is not expansionist. Hinduism, or rather Hindus, just want to be left alone. Okay. So we hear this a lot by Muslims as well, who say that there are Hindus who go out to kill people who eat beef. If it's a personal belief that they want to adopt, fine, you don't eat beef. But why are they so concerned when other people are eating beef or killing beef? That is not leave me the hell alone. That is now intruding upon other people's
Again,
lives.
You're mixing two different issues. See what you did here? You first said Hinduism has no problem, but look at what those Hindus did. Okay, I'll tell you. Jainism, okay, but do you, both of you, agree that Jainism is the only religion on planet? Okay, hear me out. Jainism is the only religion on planet Earth, religion on planet Earth that says you cannot kill, period. Not allowed, no. Are there Jain murderers or not?
But it's absolutely pathetic, even the idea. But anyway, yeah, sorry, you go on with your point. I think I was...
Okay, Who cares if it's pathetic or not?
Okay. Anyway, go on. What's the next?
I can tell you, Jains commit murders.
Yeah,
so what?
I'm sure they do.
They don't believe in the Jainism.
No.
At that point of time.
No, yeah, we know
Hindu says.
Oh, ye kidhar chale gaya?
Or certain sects or Hindus, I don't know. Even saying religion or whatever you want to call it. Even some people say don't even use religion for Hinduism. I don't know what to call it then. There are certain strands of Hinduism that value the cow as a sacred animal. So would it not, like, it's not far-fetched for someone to say, well, if you're killing a sacred animal, you yourself can be deemed worthy of imprisonment or something like that. Like, it's not a big step. for like for someone to make that thing. The same way, if I draw a cartoon of the Prophet and Muslims find that blasphemous, some Muslims might be like, well, that's very insulting. You should be imprisoned or beaten up or X, Y, and Z. Like, it's a logical step. It's not something like I'm saying, if I were to kill an octopus and someone and a Hindu kills me, then you can say, well, octopus, like, there's no value of octopus in Hinduism, but there is a value of the cow. So that's what I'm saying, that it's not simply leave me the hell alone. It's now I want to get into your business.
And I don't support that. Do you support not allowing to eat cats and dogs in?
That's the point. I know you don't.
No, let me counter you.
I know you don't support that,
do you guys believe the secular belief of not allowing to kill cats and dogs because there are pets and they're more than that is right in the West, in the secular West?
No, it's not.
Good, because even I think it's not.
So
now I'll answer the question. Now I'll answer your question. Let me answer the question. यार मेरे को पूछा उसने, मेरे को पैसे मिले. So here's my thing. There are some sects of Hinduism who actually do believe that the cow is a sacred animal and should not be killed. And then there are certain scriptures and sects in Hinduism, like in India. Let me tell you very categorically, India has multiple states, not all states. First of all, there is not even a proper beef ban in India. It is completely misrepresented. In India is actually the second, I think, or the first highest exporter of beef in the world. First of all, India exports beef. Second, Hinduism is not uniform when it comes to eating the cow too. There are multiple states in India and multiple sects in Hinduism itself that actually allow eating the cow. Having said that, this cow belt imposition of doing these things is a problem in that sect of Hinduism, should be criticized. I don't support it. What else can I say? It is a problem. So who's saying if you criticize that, it's an unfair criticism?
Not leave me the hell alone, is it?
Yeah, in that case, for those...
I know you don't agree with that, but I'm challenging... Yeah.
No, but leave me the hell alone is not just about that. At a fundamental religion is what? Abrahamic religions are proselytizing faiths, right? They go out and convert people. They actively
Christianity and Islam.
Yeah, Christianity and Islam. Actually, even Judaism was a proselytizing faith. It is only post-Maimonides where they changed. I mean, you look at early Judaism, it was very much into proselytization. It is post-Maimonides. I don't know why they came up with the flip in their mindset, but now they made it like that exclusive, exclusive billionaire club where only few people are allowed. So the Jews are going the complete opposite direction. Very much like the Parsis in India. The Parsis are also very ethnic. If you marry outside a Parsi household, you're out of the community. It's only Parsis can only marry Parsis, and they're diminishing in India. But that's besides the point. Hinduism, when I say it's a bottom-up, open-ended source where different people are allowed to do different things. Now, I honestly believe there are some strands of Hinduism that are extremely intolerant, but they are equally countered and vociferously countered within the Hindu milieu by practicing, believing Hindus. So how can, but within Islam, there is a
same with Islam though. I mean,
no, the mainstream view in Islam is everybody agrees on proselytization. The mainstream Hindu view is nobody agrees on proselytization.
Yes. Okay, but hang on. But even within that, there's so much scope. Like some Muslims will say that the best dawah you can give is just by being polite. But other people will say, no, you have to have a leaflet. You have to go to someone's face and say, Allah is this and Allah is that. Like even like you'll have a Salaf, for every Salafi. I'm not saying it's a one-to-one relation, but there'll be a Salafi guy who's in your face. And then you have a liberal Muslim who's like, hey, man, I'm just trying to like do my prayer and thing. I'm not interested in inviting people. I'm paying, but people can say that argument.
Statistically speaking, do you think... if you were to do a statistical analysis, how many Muslims would be that liberal Muslim? And if you do a statistical analysis with Hinduism, more Hindus will be that Hindu who does not want to impose their views on somebody else.
I agree with you.
So that's my whole point, that the fundamental behavior of a larger statistical database of Hindus is stemming out of certain belief structures, right? They don't bring it out of their ass.
Okay, I would say, what is the biggest majority of Hindus that perform a certain ritual? would you say that the bigger majority of Hindus, those who are actually Hindus, who do believe in idol worshipping to some extent, or maybe praying to their favorite god?
Yes.
Yeah. So
the biggest, most dominant form of Hinduism today is the bhakti form,
which is
and the murti puja.
Yeah, the murti puja. Yeah.
The murti puja, the bhakti form, and the philosophical strand. That is the most dominant strand on Hindus today in India is Advaita Vedanta.
Yeah. So my point is, like you quoted the problem of dawa, which is obviously a problem in the mainstream Islam. Every Muslim believes it, may not actively do it, but they do believe that we should give a dawa. We should try to save them from eternal torture, So we can criticize Islam for it, even though there would be a lot of people who would say, well, no, maybe we should leave it. And that attitude is actually changing, and it might be changing. So people say, so I would still mention Islam because this is a kind of a democracy in that sense, that you see whatever the majority view is, we're going to go after that. Now, as you said, in Hinduism, the most dominant form of Hinduism in this day and age is the murti puja one. So I will say, I don't even know the name of that murti puja sect of Hinduism, but I would say that is a crazy idea to pray, to worship idols and pray to that, and that's Hinduism. So I would say that's Hinduism, but you could argue that, okay, that's not factually correct because there are other sects as well. Just like that in Islam, what's the other one? Okay, so in Muslims, as I said, like the Ahmadi sect of Islam. Okay, that might not even be a sect, but what's the Shia one? Ismaili. The Ismailis don't believe. Yeah, the Ismailis don't believe in that atheists should be killed. But that would not be a benchmark, because we would actually have to go by. So they could say, well, I'm Ismaili, I'm an Islami, I'm Islam. So don't use the word Islam. So we're not gonna give into that, and we are gonna use the word Islam when we say that it does promote killing of atheists. And we would say Hinduism has idol worshipping, and that's a ridiculous idea. So we would say Hinduism. Now I don't know why we should go into but
so you know what will happen is the guy on whose podcast you had gone on. The moment you say Hinduism is idol worshipping, that guy, you remember that Sanatan, whatever guy you had gone on his podcast?
Ankur Arya,
he will immediately cut you off and say, I belong to one of the most major sects of India, the Arya Samaj, and we totally reject idol worship.
Yeah, so I know. So that's okay. But maybe
in fact, my mom is a Arya Samaji. Although she's very open, she'll go to a temple too. But yeah, my nana was like hardcore, no idols.
Can you highlight Holy Lolly's last comment? Because this is the problem that I keep running into, as though these arguments come up. We give you the freedom to not accept idol worshipping. We don't say you're a bad guy. But when I do say that idol worshipping is horrible, then scroll up and you can see what the same guy was saying about me. So I don't, my life. Just because I'm alive, I don't have to say thanks to you because you haven't killed me. You should understand. I'm talking about these people. They should understand that. I'm not gonna bend over backwards and say, oh, because you haven't killed me, you are amazing. That's not gonna happen. So stop telling me that we don't kill atheists. We don't promote killing of atheists. So stop telling me as that it is something that I should respect.
Okay, guys, this is something which I have found very, I don't know if it's interesting or frustrating, or actually it is quite frustrating, to be honest with you, because I have a Hindu friend. I think he's a Hindu, and he says, I'm not a Hindu. So I'm like, so are you an atheist? No. Are you Muslim? No. Are you Christian? No to everything. So what do you believe in? What do you read? He goes, oh, I read the Vedas, so I read I'm a Shivai or whatever it is. So I'm like, why aren't you a Hindu then? And he goes, oh, but Hinduism isn't a religion. So I'm like, what is it then? Oh, it's a philosophy. What I find is that the goalposts keep moving depending on which Hindu you say, and the same way every Muslim, their version of Islam is one way. Or every Hindu will say, oh, it's not a religion, it's this. Oh, it's not this, it's that. And then I'm like, well, either it's something or it's nothing. And this is something which, going back to the original point, how do you even criticize it if you can't even define it? Because if you're just simply saying a set of ideas that is in India, that could mean anything. That could literally mean anything. And this is the problem. Yeah, but this is why you are right on some level that Abrahamic template does not apply. But then I'm saying that no template would apply because Hinduism doesn't mean a religion, and if it's not a religion, then I don't understand what is it.
It doesn't have to be a religion for you to criticize it. All you can do is,
I know that.
it's a very simple thing. How do I talk to Hindus? Meet a Hindu, okay, which darshan? Very simple. What do you follow? Oh, they will be like, oh, I am ISKCON. So if you're ISKCON, for example, you're Gaudiya Vaishnavite. So what do you believe in Gaudiya Vaishnavism? Oh yeah, onion and garlic is not allowed. You worship the Krishna and you are into bhakti. It's a very simple thing. It's bhakti yoga. So you just understand their claims, ask them their claims, and you criticize them. If you're having a face-to-face conversation, it's very easy. Why is it so hard?
So look at this comment. This confuses.
I have got, okay. Can I admit this? As a child, my father used to take me to the Ajmer Dargah Sharif.
Allah.
And we have gone to all the churches in Goa too. What do you want to do? Hindus do that. They go to every place of worship.
Harris goes to none. Can you explain why? Even I go to mosque on Eid. Have some shut up.
There you go. So when this can be found, even praying outside church and mosque. Well, you can pray at a beach or in front of a slaughterhouse or whatever you can do. I have a problem with the word praying.
You're gonna pray in a beach with bikinis.
Yeah, you can worship. Yeah.
Shut up,
Yeah. So I have a problem with praying. So that's when I would say, oh, so this guy who I'm just assuming that if Gulag Master is that Hindu who doesn't believe in praying anyway, I would say, okay, well, your Hinduism is crazy because you believe in praying. Shami, right. What did my friend Shami say? My cousin converted to Christianity. She became such an arrogant person. Okay, all right.
Well, what so bigoted, Shami?
What do we do?
It's just this is just everyday bullshit.
Jesus loves you, Shami.
Shami, are you a Muslim? Oh, now she's.
What?
Someone asked Shami, are you a Muslim?
Oh God.
Shami, are you Muslim? Okay, we're waiting for Shami's reply.
Oh God.
Okay.
Look, I think.
Hang on.
Okay.
As an Ismaili, I have an appreciation for some of your positions. We are literally taught to approach things with logic and reason. I just don't agree with purposely, actively inciting or offending. So I know Harris would have a problem with that statement because he and then he's saying that he's using logic.
Well, yeah, I mean, these guys have a God's representative on the planet Earth. You know, who's their Khalifa these days or Imam? What's his name?
Aga Khan or something or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, Aga Khan or something. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, yes, most of the other ideas are also borrowed from the central doctrine of Islam. You know, Muhammad being the prophet and communication and all of that shit. So. But the other point that I want to focus on, he said, well, I don't believe on offending. Every fucking idea in the world has progressed because they have offended someone. You have to walk on these eggshells. If you just say which doesn't offend anyone, you're just basically saying the status quo. Like, I mean, in North Korea, I've given that example. In North Korea, if you keep saying, hey, Kim Jong-un is the greatest man who's ever lived, blah, 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 Kim Jong-un would also clap and all his supporters will clap and they say, aha, that's great. But the moment you say Kim Jong-un is a crazy bastard, then you'll get killed. The argument would be you have offended Kim Jong-un and all the other people. And that's why until more people
Can I take this one by Chetan Nayak?
Listen, look at this comment. Chetan Nayak said, Hinduism is a slimy religion. You can't get hold of it if you criticize it. Do you think this is true, Kushal? This is what I've been saying. That it's so hard to criticize because it keeps transforming.
No, Chetan Nayak, you're just intellectually mediocre.
Oh,
okay.
This is my answer to everyone who says that. Intellectually mediocre, bloody hell. Ask the person with darshana they belong to. It takes 2 days to understand their core beliefs and you can criticize them. Your intellectual mediocrity does not mean the religion will have to change for you. If you're going to make bad arguments, you're going to be called out. Make better arguments. It's like I go to a Quranist or I go to a Muslim and say, oh, you believe in idol worshipping. What the hell? That's not his claim. Why are you criticizing him based on that? At least make sensible arguments. This Chetan Nayak, this is a classic case of people who don't understand anything. They don't want to work hard. Oh yaar, 4 घंटे नहीं लगने, पता नहीं क्या है, इतना भी नहीं पढ़ना लोगों को. क्या फर्क पड़ता है? Just bloody pick up the Bhagavad Gita and criticize the Bhagavad Gita, na? What, you can't do that? You don't have time to read the Bhagavad Gita. You don't have time to read what? One Upanishad.
One Upanishad. Okay, Haris, what do you make of Chetan Nayak? Is he intellectually mediocre?
I don't think he's intellectually. Well, I'm actually not in a position to say anything because I'm not in a position because I haven't met him.
After all of that, I don't think it is.
I'm trying to be charitable.
No, I don't mean his whole life.
No,
I
I'm
mean
not going to be charitable. This is my problem. I'm not going to be charitable to this bullshit argument.
No,
this is a bullshit argument used by everyone every time.
I don't think, because you can build a case against anything on. It would never be 100%. You can build. We can point out 100 horrible things in the Quran, and then we can say Islam is full of shit. I'm sure Chetan will have his reasons, and he would point out all the other problems in Hinduism. And because Hinduism is so vast, so many stories, some people who literally believe them, and etc., etc. And then, cow urine, I keep bringing that up every now and then because that's the easiest position that I can shit on. So Chetan would have all these points that he would build up and up and up, and then he would say it's full of shit. I think the only point. Okay, so let me try to make my position clear. I said that to you, Kushal, before, that if you view it as an ancient, a source of wisdom, like Greek philosophy or like Egyptian philosophy, etc., I'm okay with that. But the moment you add divinity to it, that's when it becomes slimy bullshit, and I will call it every name under the sun. Now, you also say it's not even Hinduism; it's just a geographical location. So people have. Yeah. Well, no, a lot of people. I've heard that. A lot of people say that too. So that's fine. I've got no problem. In that case, I am Hindu too, because I am closer to the ancient Indus Valley civilization than you are, for that matter. I mean, I was born in Lahore, so I am maybe more of a Hindu then, if that's the case. But the problem is that is not what the mainstream view is. So this is why whatever the mainstream view is, I'm going to call that. Now, it's not. What can I do? Do you want me to invent different sects of or keep identifying them separately? I can't. I can't do it. I attack the divinity part of Hinduism, which is a lot of people believe in that, and I will shit on that.
No problem with that, but that's not what people do.
Shami, my friend said, "Aha, Harris, you said the truth. It's a geographical issue. There's so many other people would not agree with you, Shami. That's the whole fucking point. Do you get it?"
Haris and Charmy.
There's something about that. Get it.
And see, look, again, it boils down to the same issue. My problem is that I genuinely feel, and I know, a lot of atheists who have come out of Abrahamic backgrounds don't like it when I point it out to them. I just tell them that once you understand the template of Hinduism, even in a basic way, it becomes far easier for you to criticize them. I'm actually, in a way, trying to help them out.
No, you're right.
I'm actually genuinely trying to help them. For me,
right.
In fact, I don't know if Haris remembers it. Once we had a conversation and I started using the Hindu template on Islam, and I was being charitable to Islam, and Haris said, "Aa gaya tere andar ka Hindu bar." And if you remember, Haris had taunted me on that. "Aa gaya tere andar ka Hindu bar." And Haris told me you're wrong, and I immediately accepted Haris's point of view, because Haris told me that, no, you're using a Hindu template. That's why, oh, Kushal, you're lucky that you were Hindu. Thank you, Raju Raja. Raja Babu, thank you. I'm lucky. What the hell? By the way, Raju Raja, I call myself a Hindu by choice. It's okay. And I have no problems with that tag Hindu. So, but this is the issue. My whole attempt, whenever I've tried to reach out to ex-Muslims or atheists in the West in general, is that the discussion on Hinduism is so weak. It's immature. It's actually making no sense to me. And all I have done is I've tried to reach out to them.
Rutva, I want to comment on it. She's got a nice
Shukla.
Yeah, Shukla.
Shukla.
So here's the whole crux of my problem.
Okay.
My entire intellectual career has just hit rock bottom, and I am, I have just realized that what was the biggest problem that of my life was, where I could not communicate through to a lot of people. The problem with Harris, and Rutwa, thank you very much for solving that problem for me. The problem with Harris is that he wants to prove something without doing the research. Okay, I never claim to be an expert in Hinduism. I pick out certain ideas. Let's talk about cow urine again. Someone said Harris is upset with cow urine. Yeah, I'm gonna pick out your problems, and I'm gonna expose the shit out of
What do you think I'm drinking? What do you think I've been drinking the whole time?
You will never get cancer. You know that? Vidu, you're a lucky man. So how much? So my
cancer proof.
Cancer proof. So my question to Rutwa is, I might have spent about maybe an hour, maybe even less, in actually researching if cow urine has any medicinal properties. You know what? Maybe in 15-20 minutes, I could not find any peer-reviewed scientific
paper. It does not.
Yeah,
it does not.
It does not. So it does not. But yet, Rutwa, maybe, I don't know whether you are a cow urine drinker or not, but there's a lot of people who do drink that. So how much research I should...
They don't drink cow urine, Cyrus. They drink something called... It's an extract out of cow urine. I've actually been to a plant that does that extract thing.
Okay. So my point is, whoever does drink that, right, or whatever, it might not even be written in any Bhagavad Gita or anywhere, wherever it came. There's a group of people who believe in that. So I'm talking about that. Now my question to Rutwa is, how much research I should actually do to actually find out? Should I actually put my lab coat on and actually start researching and start doing all the experiments whether cow urine does have any cancer medicinal qualities or not? Should I do that? Is that what you mean by research? No, I'm sorry to say that, honey. In 15 minutes of research, I can tell you that this claim that it has freaking medicinal quality is absolute bullshit, and I'll shit on that.
I just loved it. Somebody said camel urine is better than cow urine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Muslims, there are Arabs who drink camel urine. They actually literally.
Oh, come on. How many Arabs must be drinking camel urine? Come on, that's a straw man.
No, it's not a straw man, because we have a strong hadith. We have literature that actually inspires us. Of course, not a lot of people drink. Maybe 0.0.
Yes. So why use that straw man argument?
Because it has a bigger goal in that. It's not a straw man, because it has a bigger goal in that. The people who believe Sahih Hadiths are correct, and then we say, okay, this is what Sahih Hadith does too. So if you believe Sahih Hadiths are correct, then do that. If they don't do it, that's hypocrisy. And if they actually say, no, that Sahih Hadith is wrong, then we say, okay, you're cherry picking, you're pinpointing the bits that suit you. So that's the point behind us pinpointing or pointing out these problems. So when someone says, yoga, that's another. So that's it. Okay, Harris needs better arguments than piss. Okay, what about karma argument? That whatever you do, you will get paid for it in some sort of a way.
Okay, award of the day goes to Siddhartha Sahu.
If I became a Hindu, I will definitely do that. And you have to be a cow.
Okay, but Harris, I'll just to inform you from which text the whole cow urine extract comes from. It comes from Ayurveda. It is a proper.
Also, it does come from a text.
Yeah, it comes from Ayurveda.
It's ancient medicine techniques of.
No, but while I may not agree with the cow urine claim, be very careful in rejecting Ayurveda, because the principles of Ayurveda, which is based on Vat, Pitta, Kapha, they might be very sound. It's actually very sound.
There might be some good bits in that. There's hukmah, there's hikmat. In Arabic, it's hikmah. And there were some ancient Arabs doing some really good surgeries and all that. All the medical bits. They were fine.
Vidu, somebody has said, can you translate the phrases for those that don't know Hindi? Please translate this for them.
He said, okay, well, no, you'll get demonetized. He said, sister, beep. drink my urine. That's what he said.
He said, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, hang on. This is interesting.
Oh,
Cow
here we
urine
go.
is used for epileptical medicine.
Are you having epilepsy?
For epilepsy. So if you having epilepsy fit, just sprinkle a bit of
now she was attacking us, but she actually believes in that. So there might be certain bits. I don't know. I was thinking about it. There's certain medicine that use ammonia in it, but you don't drink a whole bottle of ammonia, right? So what's the?
Yeah.
I mean,
okay.
It's all about chemicals. What's wrong with that? So there might be an.
This is something which
it's a urine extract. What they do in what I have understood in Ayurvedic things. Obviously, we are going to find people who actually take raw cow urine, but what I have seen at a very serious level, it is basically urine extracts out of the cow urine that they use. Now, I have seen some weak studies that claim that it has some relieving benefits for cancer patients. There is not peer-reviewed research. I'm being very honest here, but they are doing research. There is a proper ministry in India which covers homeopathy, Ayurveda, and some of the researches are very sound, by the way. Some research of Ayurveda is put in Nature magazine, by the way. The government of
I like Hajmola. Is that inspired by
Hajmola is to just churan, na?
All right, I like churan becho. I like that. I like Hajmola.
Yeah, so that's just churan. But no, I'm very serious. See, the problem is most people make bullshit arguments, and my whole thing is, look, see, if you're going to use the cow piss argument, Haris, this is where I would give you a cautionary tale. Recently, a lot of terrorism attacks have also come across, and hate crimes have come across for Hindus, where people have used this slur of cow urine against Hindus. So I don't want you guys at least to use those arguments and get typecasted amongst those people. That's my suggestion.
That's the Islamophobia argument. That don't criticize Islam because
I'm just saying be careful in your argument. If you want to criticize someone's belief that cow urine cures is very different than calling someone a cow piss drinker. That's a slur.
No, I'm not saying that. But actually, that's actually shouldn't be seen as a slur because they should understand that I'm actually giving them the courtesy of believing that they're not hypocrites. So if someone does believe that cow urine has medicinal qualities or it is good for your health, I would think that maybe they're practicing what they're preaching, so they would drink it too. So what's wrong in then calling a believer who believes that cow piss has medicinal qualities doesn't drink it?
You can call them cow piss extract drinkers.
But I've seen people go live. Cow urine.
Can I get that in coffee, please? Okay. Yeah.
Oh, yaar, matlab kya hai? You have seen one person eat tatti too. So what, people are eating tatti in huge quantities now?
Yeah, if they are eating it, if they're saying. Oh, sorry. I think I got your point. You're saying that I shouldn't say all Hindus drink cow. I never say that. I'm saying I would say that to a person who supports drinking cow urine. I would call him a cow urine drinker. What's wrong with
okay,
that?
let's move on from urine. See, this is your problem. You're stuck with susu.
Yeah. Okay, can we park the cow urine aside for a second?
Yes, susu kar liya sabne.
What can I ask this? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's taking the piss. This is something. What do you make of Sadhguru? And I'm asking this because a lot of Hindus on my comment below. Well, this is for both. Because a lot of Hindus comment below saying that if you want to understand Hinduism, watch Sadhguru. And I watched some of his videos. I'm not gonna lie, and this might offend people or upset people. But I wasn't that impressed. I was like, he's saying very nice, hairy fairy kind of like feely hippy dippy kind of stuff. But I didn't really feel any solid, substantial claim or anything that he was making, to be completely honest with you.
I totally endorse your views.
One point. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good. I thought you were gonna say more on that, Kushal. But very quickly, I want to say that I get a lot of that too. Watch Sadhguru. I really respect and admire Shashi Tharoor, and I had a private chat with you that I'm like, I just don't understand how people so brilliant can actually believe in some airy-fairy things. But anyway, I think Shashi does believe in a divine God. But again, doesn't mean that he's not an immensely intellectual giant.
Oh,
So
I don't think so. Sadhguru is a fraud or anything. But yeah, I don't find his arguments impressive.
No, I was talking about Shashi Tharoor. So there's a clip someone sent me. Shashi Tharoor, like, here's the difference between an intellectual giant and then just someone who's just something. So I urge everyone to watch it. Sadhguru was shitting on not only Islam but actually Muslims as well, and he made the argument, like they came, they conquered our land or whatever. And kudos to Shashi's brilliance and his wit, that he actually said, yes, Sadhguruji, but they came and they lived here. They weren't like the British who just came and plundered and went back. So that was it. And you know what Sadhguru said? He said, oh, that's because, and he actually said it seriously, but Shashi probably either didn't want to embarrass him even more, but he actually said it seriously. He said, you see, because they didn't have that many boats back then to take all the loot from India back to Arab. He said it seriously.
They didn't come by boats. They come by boats.
He came by land.
They came by land, but he was just trying to.
Exactly, they came by land anyway. They wouldn't have boats in the first place.
Yeah, look, I also want to add this point
Sadhguru,
about.
Is he?
He's a guru. He runs this Isha Yoga thing, and it's a proper foundation. They do a lot of good charitable work, especially right now in terms of rivers in India. I support that work, but I don't agree with any single supernatural claim the man makes. It's okay. Let them do their thing. No, nobody's. The Sadhguru definitely doesn't go around harming anyone. I don't see. And by the way, Shashi Tharoor has a murder charge on him. I would any day take Sadhguru over Shashi Tharoor, so please.
What?
Yes. How many of you know that?
Okay.
I don't know that. Anyway, I'm just talking about
Sadhguru has a charge over him.
Yes. I am talking about Shashi Tharoor's eloquency, his vocabulary, and. I like him. I don't know. I like him.
Also, he speaks like a westernized, anglicized person. Who cares? I've never found that.
Sadhguru or to Shashi, because both of them have very good English.
Shashi Tharoor and Sadhguru speaks like a typical Indian accent. Shashi Tharoor has that very British accent. I don't know ki hoya onnu, but whatever, man. I don't care. See, for me, Shashi Tharoor lives in India. Where did he get this accent from? Yeah, holy lolly, Ghanta. There is a case going on in the court. Do follow Indian politics a little more. Holy lolly.
Oh, now you want to attack holy lolly. Good. Oh, Sadhguru also has murder allegations.
Bullshit. Show the link.
This is my friend Chetan Naik. He is not intellectually mediocre. Can you take that?
Oh yeah. Now Chetan Naik will go Google. Chetan Naik is googling.
That's fine. You can Google it, but anyway, it doesn't matter. But it's
okay.
This is allegations or with Shashi Tharoor. Well, he's you have to respect someone like him who can actually who can shut people up. Every time I go overseas, and I've noticed that there's an English language bias. People who do speak English and they speak English very well, and I think Vidu, I was telling you that too. And this is why I was a little bit awestruck by Germans and French, but everywhere else, people who speak fluent English, they naturally get an edge over rest of the nationalities because they can shut them up. They're better in their argumentation. They're much more fluent. They're more fluid with their narrative wherever they're going. So it actually there is an advantage to it. You might call it bullshit. You might want to be proud of your language and culture and whatever, but you actually lose out on that. So that's why I like Shashi Tharoor, because he can put an eye to eye, and he can speak, and he can argue with people, and he can shut the Gora people up.
No, this is a false charge by Jarin Jav. No, I will defend Shashi Tharoor on this one. In fact, Shashi Tharoor had passed a bill or supported a bill in the private members bill in the parliament for free speech. So Jarin Jav is wrong there. I'm sorry, you're wrong there, Jarin. So please don't accuse Shashi Tharoor of things that you've not done. And you want to follow good congressmen, right? Shashi Tharoor is a congressman. Follow Milind Devra, Sachin Pilot, Jyotiraditya Scindia. They are good congressmen. But yeah, I will not accept false accusations on Shashi Tharoor. He actually put a private member's bill for free speech. It did not pass. That's a separate issue. So I will not accept that accusation on Shashi Tharoor.
Harris looks like person who gets awestruck by nice words but don't see or research their action and motive. I'm sorry, I didn't know. I haven't read a book on Shashi Tharoor. How much research should I do? I mean, it's the same thing, you know. Harris, good vocabulary equal good values equal intellectual. Good values, yes. Good values. If you have Jinke, have you stumped yourself, brother? What are you saying? Obviously, definitely not good vocabulary, but good values. They come
I can see the kid in Vidu coming out right now.
What? I think he tried to. Sorry. I think it wasn't good value plus. I think it was good values equal. Good vocabulary equals good values. No, I never said good values equal. A good vocabulary equals good values.
Yeah,
good
he's
values.
saying that you're impressed by his words.
Waleed, somebody called Komeli Raymond has asked me a question. I want to answer that so that these people understand where I come from. So that handle has asked, Kushal, is there widow burning in Hinduism? So can I answer that?
Sati.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's a practice called sati. So the best book to understand the practice of sati is by a female called Meenakshi Jain. It is called Sati. The book itself is called Sati. She's a professor in Delhi. Yes, there are cases even recorded by Greek travelers like how do you pronounce his name? Megasthenes, Megasthenes. This Greek traveler that had come to India, even he has recorded. Megasthenes. So even he has recorded widow burning, but it was not a very prevalent practice. It was actually something to be very exclusive to begin with. It was considered to be a privilege if you get sati. At that time, I mean, there are cases in history where women have fought, like, the Kshatriya women have fought amongst each other, that who gets to burn herself with the Raja when the Raja dies, with the king. So yes, there are some cases of sati that can be directly linked to Hinduism. This is the truth. Now, this is what is sold in the West. And in people like Sam Harris and Michael Shermer, I've heard it so many times on their podcast. Sati was so prevalent in India. And then when the British said, this is not compatible with our values, we're going to remove it. And the Hindus said, no, these are our values. Bullshit. Kisi aur ko bolna ye. Sale gobar log. This is the fact. I can give you names of activists who moved the British to remove sati from India. Going back all the way back, even before the British came, the sati practice and the fight against sati was happening in Indian society. But this is my problem. Is there sati pratha in Hinduism? Yes. Was it widespread? Hell no. Did the British remove it? Fuck no. The British were told by the Indians to remove it. So I'm not giving those fuckers the credit.
Harris would be best friends with Rahul Gandhi. Well, I don't know about that, but what I have seen, Rahul Gandhi is like kind of a papu, and I'm an alpha male, so you can work out what kind of a relationship we would have.
Alpha male. Okay.
I'm joking.
Okay, this is a good discussion. I'm a Hindu atheist. Thanks, Vidu, Kushal, and Harris. This is an interesting comment. I agree with Kushal. British wouldn't have been able to remove it if it was religious.
No. See, look, I'm not going to make any claim where I can't back it up. And just to back my claim about sati, I am going to fucking remove that book now. Luckily, this is the book.
Uday, I'm coming. Uday, I'm coming to run for prime minister position in India. Okay,
this is the book. You guys can read this book. It is a well-researched book by Meenakshi Jain. It clearly states that sati was a practice in India. Megasthenes has clearly recorded the practice of sati, but it is not what... See, another book I would recommend to understand the amount of racism that went into Indology as a subject. I don't know how many of you know the subject of Indology. Indology basically means India studies. Studies of India. It is a subject in the sociology departments in America and in the West. Study a book by a professor. He's a double PhD called Vishwa Adluri. It's called Nay Science. Nay Science. And he's basically gone through a detailed study of the amount of racism that was there in Indology departments, and how many theories about Hinduism, especially from Germany, that came out of Germany, are based out of racism. Look, these are serious issues. There is a lot of rubbish that is peddled in the form of what is Hinduism. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to clear the cobwebs, and I'm trying to present an actual version where, yeah, I say Hinduism as a problem. I have never denied it. I criticize Hinduism far more than any ex-Muslim does. But my point is, whenever I criticize it, the Hindus, by and large, understand what I'm saying because I just have a better understanding of their claims. That's all. My criticism of the entire tweet of Farah Heather and all of that was based out of that. I don't come from a place of malice. I support the ex-Muslims. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, Vidu, do you still have a photo that we took in the gym photo that we took? You, me, and Armin?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I get it on Facebook.
Yeah. Just screen share that. Well, you know, I think some people want to see it, so maybe I want to show it.
I think of your fan. What's the name? Sharma. What's the name? Sharma. What's the name?
Sharmi.
Sharmi. I forgot.
Sharmi. No. Sharmi said something else. She said, "There you go."
Yeah, you're because
Sharmi.
Sharmi's up.
I look like Amjad Khan.
Let me find it.
You look like
she was trying to give me a compliment. Well, I well received.
Yeah, you know who Amjad Khan was, right? Gabbar Singh.
Yeah, I know. That's what she actually said. Gabbar Singh, not Amjad Khan. I know who he was. So anyway,
look at this comment.
Oh wow! Super boo boo ha ha.
But I still think my beard is better.
Rishta, Magni.
Super boo boo ha ha. Can you show your photo?
Can we have a vote, please, of the best beard?
Excuse me, my beard is the best. It is the most trimmed and proper. Okay, live chat, everybody, vote for who has the best beard right now.
Yeah, mine is the roughest. I literally, this is not even a beard.
Dekho.
Well, there's nothing there, man. It's all grey. You can't even see anything.
Go fuck yourself. My beard is far better than yours right now.
Mine.
La hawla wala quwwata.
This is a competition of young men, not granddaddies.
Now things are getting serious. I
think the funny thing is Kushal is actually a year younger than me, isn't he? Oh,
I'm 38, man. I'm the eldest.
I'm 10. Yeah, geez, man. I don't want to look like you when I'm 38.
Oh my god. This is so bad. Hang on a second. Can you see my screen?
Yes. What the hell?
Look at this show off here. Look at this guy.
I've started going back to the gym. So yeah, very, very soon I'll be back in that shape.
That's
my arms have always stayed okay. I don't know, but my gunt comes out every now and then when I misbehave with my food.
Your gunt. in Australian language, gunt is tid. He said to me, "You've got a bit." He said, "Oh, I've got a bit of a gunt." I'm like, "What's a gunt?"
Oh, you know what I heard, right?
Tid.
You know what I heard, right?
What's that?
Gand.
Oh, Gand.
What?
Gand. I was like, what the hell?
Got a bit of a
God is talking about his Gand.
Oh god. Bro, the conversations we had, you don't even want to know, man. Honestly,
Gant with G. So you know when you
have a super chat
when your stomach gets really big. Okay, I mentioned this.
Yeah, why can't I see these super chats?
Oh yeah, Hindu historian.
Okay. I'm gonna read the Hindu historian. Amazing. Sati was condemned by the earliest and most respected commentator on Manusmriti. See article The Dharmasastric Debate on Widow Burning by David Brick in Journal of the American Oriental Society. Thank you very much for your historical education.
No, it's actually true.
Oh, wow, you read it?
I can vouch for that. I've read it. Yeah,
sorry,
but that doesn't mean Sati was not practiced.
Can I ask how many books? But can I ask, how many books do you think you've read in your life? And this is a serious
Oh.
question because you read a lot of books.
Uh,
And you read them very fast. Like I'm a very slow. This is all for just background. This is decoration. I don't actually read any of these. I don't. I probably pay more attention to this. Hang on. To
Kushal,
this thing here than I do to the books. If I'm
Kushal will smash those books in like a week.
No. I read one book a week. My target is one book a week.
One book a week.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
One book a week.
Yeah,
No, but it's about discipline.
Wow,
you just have to read 2 hours daily. If you read 2 hours daily, you will knock out one book a week. So it's like I target minimum 40 books a year. So I think around 500, 600 books. I have not counted, but I've been reading for such a long time. So easily 500, amazing. 600 books easily. And other than books, I'll read research papers and whatever. Pretty cool.
I would read that many books in probably a year. I mean, I might read 5 or 6 books a year. that's
I read 5 or 6 books in 5 or 6 years.
No, yeah. But I feel quite.
I have a question for you guys. Somebody asked that on the live chat too. What happened to this Mufassal Islam guy? He used to be such an atheist. I think he came on Gadsad's show too, right?
Yeah.
What happened there?
He did, and he was debating Imam Tawhidi. I from what I've heard, I don't know if it's true or not. From what I've heard,
don't say it then.
He got pressured back into joining Islam because of some. Oh, okay.
Well, I'm not going to say it. You've heard it. You may as well say it.
Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna. I thought it was common knowledge. I thought it was common knowledge. Okay.
Well, you're right. Actually, it is kind of common knowledge.
Okay. Well,
but I don't want to. We don't want to look into a position where we're just saying, that like we're making excuses for them, or in my case, and I also think if that is a real case, if he got pressured into it, I don't know. We don't know what his situation is, so why talk about it? But to be honest, I actually don't know why he converted. I had never followed him before that either. Even though a lot of people tell us that, hey, watch Sadhguru. A lot of people used to tell me, hey, look up Mufassal Islam. Look up Mufassal Islam. So I don't know. I had never followed his work before, so I just don't know anything about him.
Okay, so because I was
Haris, what?
Go ahead.
Yeah. Hang on a second. Haris, what are you doing for climate change? Not going vegan? Shame on you, Haris. Shame.
I think these people have.
How dare you take away our future?
I think these people have.
How dare you give us hope or whatever it is that Greta Thunberg was saying?
SNE bolte. How dare you? How dare you?
And then you gotta cry as well, and you gotta cry as well.
Like this.
Hey, don't do that. She's actually autistic.
How dare you?
She's actually autistic, Vidu.
Oh, is she? Oh shit, my bad.
Yeah. And I
didn't know that. I thought it was just like a thing.
No.
Magic effect.
Yeah. So she's actually autistic. I was like, I made a comment.
I feel really bad now.
Yeah, exactly. Same thing happened to me. So I said, I wanted a climate change hero, but I'm sorry, you're turning me off with your tears and crying and face pulling and everything. And then people told me, hey, she's actually autistic. So I was like, oh, okay. Then I deleted the comment. So now I don't. Whatever. Apparently, there's a report circulating that she's actually in the last 12 months she's been paid $28 million, like in just speaking and whatever. So activism also pays. Vidu, hang in there.
Jesus.
Wow,
that's crazy,
Nikki,
man.
I think Nikki PVCK has a good point. I always say that vegans have a higher moral ground, and I think you're right. I mean, I tried to become a vegan twice, and then I go back, and then I start eating chicken, and I try not to eat bacon only when I'm out, or like if it's just brought forward in front of me, then I eat bacon. So no inner Muslim comes out at that point. But look, I've tried. I think it's a journey. I will keep trying, but I'm hoping that we will have lab-grown meat very soon. Hopefully, once we have that, I think we'll be fine. But I do respect vegans who purely out of their compassion for fellow animals, they have just given it up. I have enormous respect for them, and I do acknowledge that we are hypocrites basically, and they are morally ahead of us.
Yeah, I totally agree. Every single person should follow the lifestyle of a vegan Digambar Jain Muni. So they should be naked. They should walk around with no shoes. They should be absolutely naked. They should have no material possessions. They should have a vegan lifestyle. Not only vegan, they should have a Jain vegan lifestyle. So no onions, no anything underground also is not allowed. Anything with more microorganisms is not allowed. So yes, please go ahead and live that lifestyle.
I'm going to ignore your sarcasm. But I'm sorry. These kind of people.
That's it.
क्यों नंगे क्यों नहीं होना भाई? नंगे हो जाओ.
Oh, Mazelo. Hey, very quickly, very quickly. This is why I want to do it. So this is why these kind of people keep coming in. So somebody just said, I think the message has disappeared. He said, with lab-grown meat comes cancer. Well, why are you worried? We'll drink cow urine and we'll be away from cancer. Sorry, I had to say it. I had to say it. Yeah.
What's that?
Oh God.
What did you say?
I said why
I
do we
don't know
have
what
to
you
worry
said.
about
Sorry.
it? I said why do we have to worry about cancer? We'll all drink cow urine and we'll be fine.
So somebody asked me a question.
Oh my
Kushal, do you think Hinduism was demonized by Indian liberals? Hinduism was not demonized by Indian liberals. Hinduism has been criticized by Indian liberals. Yeah, demonized, maybe. Yeah, you could say that. I just think, look, the liberal mindset or the left-wing mindset is very predictable everywhere in the world. They just look at everything from victimhood and oppression, minority good, majority bad, no matter who the majority. So the majority in America is the Christian, bash them. In UK is the Christian, bash them. In India is the Hindu, bash them. It's such a predictive. Actually, the left-wing mindset is very religious. It's actually very predictable. In their case, privilege is the original sin. In the case of the religious mindset, it is the original sin is what Adam, Chacha, and Eve auntie did. So it's actually very predictable. If you are born into a certain majority, you're a sinner in the left-wing mindset. So yeah, whatever, man. Who cares?
All right, guys. Do you want to call it a day, or do you want to take?
Holly Lolly made another. Gave us a gem of wisdom. Atheism itself is a belief. Science has not proven there is no supreme reality.
No, atheism is not a belief system. I disagree with that.
Holly Lolly, just Holly, yeah.
Lolly
anyway.
All right, exactly. Okay, guys. Do you want to call it a day? It's been fun. We've gone on for nearly 2 hours now.
Yes, I think
your last statements, if you want, or we can take a few more. Sorry, go on, Horace.
I don't know. I'm okay. It's 5 a.m. Actually, I should go to the gym now. So I just wanted to say
you should go to sleep, bro. You should go to sleep.
I actually haven't been sleeping, man. I don't know. Ever since I came back, I'm sleeping during the day, awake at night. So my whole pattern is just out of whack, and it's been like 5 days now since I've been back. So I don't know why it's taking that long. But having said that, I lack discipline. You lack discipline. Was Arnold Schwarzenegger quote. Why we actually made the video. So I'm just gonna summarize my position on Sarah Hayden's one. I think people should stop getting offended over pretty much everything, or when we don't include the hashtag not all Hindus or not all Muslims or not in the entire Hinduism. I think specifically speaking, she was just highlighting the hypocrisy of the person who comes across with almost a virtue signaling position that, oh, we are so nice and polite, but you are a jihadi. So she was highlighting the hypocrisy of that person, and she was actually quoting Hinduism. She didn't actually say it herself. So I think Offense Brigade should step back, because if they're going to keep getting offended, that's not a good argument. We stood at the memorial in Berlin. I think Kushal, initially you also said that maybe you would not have done it, but I don't know whether you've now we've made our argument.
I still stick to that argument.
Okay,
I would not have done that.
Yeah, but it's not that a big deal, right? But so anyway, so for us, but the people who were outraged by it, and people were getting offended for the victims themselves, who were not even Jews themselves. I mean, the people who were getting offended. So this offense, don't do this nitpicking, splitting hairs, all of this shit actually doesn't help your argument. There are problematic bits in Hinduism, but we don't focus more on Hinduism, and that's why we do that, and I think we will keep doing it. Offense is not a good argument.
The question is not offense. So these are my
Kushal, your final remarks.
That was my
Yeah.
Go for it.
I don't care about people taking offense to anything. My point is very simple. If you're going to say ideas and individuals are different, well, then behave what you like, what you preach many times when there are genuine cases of anti-Muslim bigotry. And ex-Muslims have stood up, which is the right thing to do, to support Muslims and talk about anti-Muslim bigotry. I'm sorry, there is genuine anti-Hindu bigotry also. And sometimes when criticism against Hinduism happens, it should happen in a technically correct, intellectually honest, and sensible way. And if somebody and a Hindu expects you to have a bare minimum understanding of their faith system, I don't think so is an unreasonable argument. I was the same when I was young, and when I used to criticize Hindus, and they would be like, why didn't you get a basic understanding of our faith system? And I went and I actually got it. And I applied the same rule to Christianity. I applied the same rule to Islam. I applied the same rule to Scientology, even Mormonism. I tried to go and understand at least some basic things about them. My complaint is that if we do not separate ideologies and individuals, we will have these problems ahead. And to say that, well, offense is not an argument, well, who cares? Let them be offended. Then I would say that. Let them be offended. But my criticism was not about them taking offense. My criticism was that in general, this has, and I still stick to it, that the overall understanding of Hinduism when it comes to atheists out of Abrahamic backgrounds in general is not very, very good. And there is not, I don't come at that position from a position of malice or anything. I just say let's have an even better and nuanced discussion so that we can criticize all bad ideas better. I learned a lot about Islam by watching videos of Haris and Vidu and Armin. I learned a lot. Why won't I accept that? I became I have a far better understanding of Islam because of one discussion you had with Abdullah Gondal, where you literally went through specific claims in the Quran, because even though I had read the Quran, I had not thought of it like that. So when you listen to other points of view, why can't we expect better standards? My whole thing is let's have higher standards. I'm for higher standards, and if that means I'm being unreasonable, so be it.
I think I know I've already said it in one line, and I agree with pretty much everything you said. But your charge that Sarah might not have done that or she was guilty of that, I don't agree with that. I think she did. She didn't do any of that. She was reasonable and she was to the point. But anyway, that's my fault.
Yeah, that's okay. I could be wrong, and I'm open to being wrong, but I did not see that happening because I followed it up with a few of her other tweets when she was chatting with Rajiv, and it did not come off like that. Yes, she did try to clarify later on to a couple of people who said, what are you doing? And she said, no, I don't mean all Hindus, but it's okay. Course. I could care less. My point is that I have every right to expect a higher standard from Sarah Heather if she expects a better standard from Hindus who abuse her online.
All right, guys. And I think that is that. So thank you to my two friends, Kushal and Haris, for coming on, giving me their thoughts and time. I really enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I hope everyone in the chat enjoyed it. I hope you guys had a fantastic time on a Friday night, Friday morning, or Saturday morning, wherever you are in the world. Guys, thank you so much for coming on once again, and let's continue the conversation next time very soon. So everyone take care, and I'll see you guys very soon.
It's still live.